Who's the hero? Who's the victim? Who's the villain? A story can morph in the telling. Take a tale from the Salem witch trials in colonial Massachusetts. Then, in the 1950s, the tale is dramatized and sprinkled with fiction to become a Broadway play, a commentary on an early chapter of the Cold War. Fast forward the tale into this century, tilted into the MeToo era at a high school in rural Georgia, and what you get is John Proctor is a villain. The next production by UTC Theatre Co. here on our campus, the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. The play opens Tuesday, April 8th, and runs through Saturday, April 12th. Steve Ray is head of UTC's Department of Theater and artistic director of UTC Theatre Company. Student Ellen Rich plays Shelby Holcomb. Student Maislyn Payne plays Nell Shaw. Steve, Ellen, Maislyn, thanks for joining us.
Great to be here.
Yeah, so excited
Great to be here.
Tell us more about John Proctor.
John Proctor is the Villain is a relatively new play with a very interesting story as far as how its production history has gone. It was written for a handful of colleges, and colleges really started loving it, and other theaters started picking it up. It became so popular that it's about to appear on Broadway in about 2 weeks or so. It opens on Broadway. It's kind of the reverse of what normally happens with these kind of plays. So we are actually presenting it before it's made it to Broadway, which never happens for us.
A Chattanooga premiere.
A Chattanooga premiere. It is. It really is. And it's a beautiful, beautiful, moving, powerful, well-written play. Kimberly Bellflower is a North Georgia playwright, and she's written about this group of high school students who are studying The Crucible, in which John Proctor is the main character. And they come to different conclusions than what is typically taught in the classroom.
And among the students, you, Ellen.
Yes, so I play the role of Shelby. She's one of the high school students studying The Crucible, and she kind of has a reputation at the school already. She's usually written off as the crazy girl. And Kimberly Bellflower, the playwright, actually wrote in the description, she said, Shelby's brain works faster than her mouth, but her mouth works pretty dang fast. And that's pretty much sums up who she is. She's very unfiltered, very honest, and it can get her into a lot of trouble, which the audience will see.
And Maislyn?
I'm playing the role of Nell Shaw. She's the new girl of the friend group. She moved from Atlanta. She's kind of the glue, if you will. She asks all the reasonable questions. She comes to reasonable answers for all of them. She's trying to navigate her way through in the new town.
And without giving this away, this sounds like a play within a play with a twist.
It allows the audience to re-examine Arthur Miller's play. Although we don't perform The Crucible, we get to study it and talk about it in a way that you see these students grapple with what we've been taught. John Proctor is the hero. Abigail Williams is the villain. And because this takes place during the wake of the MeToo movement, not only are truths being revealed on a national scale, but truths are revealed in their town. And that sort of leads them to grapple with the fact of this story. And what does this mean? And maybe what we've studied isn't always true.
And The Crucible was an allegory in the 1950s in the wake of the McCarthy era. And there's something similar going on, without giving it away, with this work.
Yes, that is absolutely correct, yeah.
Yeah, the small town is mirroring, like Ellen said, the small town is mirroring what's going on nationally with the Me Too movement. It's set in 2018, so there's a lot of news stories coming out, and then within a small town, there are a lot of huge stories happening there too. So there is that kind of mirroring of larger society.
How are each of you drawn to theater?
Well, I've done theater pretty much my whole life. I grew up here in Chattanooga, and when I was really little, like 5 years old, I started doing theater camps and just found great community, and I realized I never wanted to stop doing it. So here I am.
I started in high school. During COVID, we had a spring theater workshop, and I started there. And after that, I auditioned for all the plays, and they were all so fun. I just never want to stop.
And what drew you to this play?
What originally drew me to this play was the language that Kimberly Bellflower, the playwright, used throughout. So often when you read a play about teenage girls, it can come across as one-dimensional or like they're being dumbed down. But in this show, none of them are stereotypes. They're all very three-dimensional characters, and she paints their lives so vividly in a way that's so authentic. It really feels like you're watching teenage girls speak, which is just a really rare opportunity to get to see in live theater.
I read the play like right before I auditioned, and I just like really fell in love with it. I love the way she wrote everything. They really talk like teenagers, and I just love that. And then it's so beautiful to watch all the girls interact with each other. It's so like wholesomely girlhood, if that makes sense.
And there are funny moments. It's a very serious play with some difficult subject matter, but Bellflower just brings out the humor. Each character has a kind of point of view that is in some way extreme, I think, that allows that character to conflict, contrast with the other characters, and sometimes humor comes out of that, and sometimes very difficult things come out of that, and it's complex and beautiful.
And for people who want to check it out and keep up on everything at UTC Theatre Company, where can they go online?
They can go to utc.edu/theater with an RE, and that will get them to our department's webpage. You can navigate from there to buying tickets, or if you just want tickets, you can go by our box office in the Fine Arts Center on the main floor, or you can call the box office at 423-425-4269.
All right, Steve, Ellen, Macelyn, thanks so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks.